throughout all the years, growing up is one thing we've all done. And a lot of the things that define us, whether it be our trauma or things that make us happy or things that make us us, is how we grew up, right? Growing up, or should I say looking back, I don't have a lot of memories playing with toys. And it's kind of funny because I remember having toys like Beyblades, Pokemon, Pogs, if you guys know that one, but not a lot of solid core memories with them. And to be honest, I did get into a lot of trouble as a kid. I was starting fights, I was, breaking stuff. So obviously, a lot of the things that my parents got me did eventually get confiscated. But I'm sure, regardless of that, it's true for a lot of us. But when we grow older, we find out more about ourselves. So, for example, I have a lot of hobbies, I have a lot of passions, and I would say that a lot of the things that I enjoy doing is a big part of who I am. And it's with all of these things that you or anyone that I know can see my identity. Do I look good? Recently, I've been getting back into Pokemon, and growing up in a Christian household comes with certain types of rules, regulations. So for a big majority of it, I couldn't play Yu-Gi-Oh, I couldn't play Pokemon, or anything that potentially could go against the religion. Like, I remember one time stashing out a Yu-Gi-Oh deck in my backpack when I was at school, but then like a week later my mom found it and then poop, chucked it out. So that's a core memory for sure. That's one of my core memories for Yu-Gi-Oh. I guess what I'm trying to say is eventually, as an adult, you find yourself wanting to connect back with your younger self. And obviously, when you start working, you find yourself with adult money, and basically the idea of free will becomes more prominent. So you spend that adult money however you want. So I decided to buy some Pokemon cards. And as you've seen, some other stuff that pays homage or pays tribute to my childhood. And I don't know if this is nerdy, but when I pressed that purchase button, there was something inside of me that was happy, that was satisfied. And as kids, we don't really realize that the things that we were able to do and we're not able to do shape who we become. But now, as an adult, there's a kind of liberation to that because we are able to make those choices for ourselves. It's really not just about the things we buy or the hobbies we revisit. It's about reclaiming a part of ourselves that we might have had to set aside. And maybe that's what growing up is really about, right? It's not just about leaving things behind, but it's also about revisiting them or finding them again when we're ready. All of us in this world have one life. So if buying Pokemon cards or buying Bakugans or buying basically anything that makes you happy or brings you joy, then why not? It's a way of connecting with that younger version of ourselves, the one who might have felt like those things were out of reach. In a way, it's giving yourself permission to embrace the things that once made you happy without the restrictions or judgments that came with childhood. And I think that is just a beautiful thing, because at the end of the day, it's not about being nerdy or being childish or even cringy. It's really just about finding joy in the things that really matter to you. Yeah.